I want to talk a little bit about the environment, things that we're seeing here. First up, if we look over here, okay, we have 4 icons here. Okay, normally those are collapsed, but we can expand on those. So if we click on the first one, okay, we start to see all the different pages that exist within our document. And so this document is fairly simple, meant to be kind of a starter document, and so we just have a couple pages. Okay, the next one down are bookmarks. Okay, and these are, exactly as the name implies, clickable links to different areas of the document. Now, what I've included here, these would be sample different areas or different pages that we're going to actually add into our document, but don't exist yet. This actually points up kind of a way in which you can go about creating your file. You could create a blank or a very simple file like this one with all of the different bookmarks already installed. And frankly, I would anticipate that some people may choose to use this as a starter for their digital portfolio. And then we link these bookmarks to particular pages and content once we've actually added it in. Alternatively, we can also just add all of our documents into our pages and then add bookmarks as appropriate. And we'll go over all of those steps here. Next, over here are going to be some of the tools that we're going to use. And I'll point out just 2 of these, both tools and comment. Tools are going to be used to, say, add bookmarks, attach files, or add other things like buttons and some multimedia items. The other thing here, comment, I don't really use this for digital portfolios, but I find this incredibly helpful in terms of grading. Just as another plug for Acrobat Pro, a lot of the things that I'm doing are visual. They're hands-on. So I will take pictures of different projects and then I will comment directly on those pictures using the tools here in Acrobat Pro and then send them off to my students. So that way they have the picture of the thing that they did and ways in which they can improve based on my comments. So kind of an ancillary thing, but still interesting. So with our basic file to start with, what we want to do then is start to assemble the documents that we want to into a singular PDF. And to do so, we have some options. And if we open up our file folder, if we open up sample documents, okay, this is the way that I typically will organize my files kind of as things are going along, just because we have the major headings that all of us have to work within, the creative, service, and teaching, and then also a general. Okay, so if we click in the general, we're going to see a handful of documents, and in order for us to add these to our file, it really couldn't be much simpler. We could do this one at a time, or we can grab all of them and just drag them over. And wherever we see this line, that's where those documents are going to be inserted. So we see that line right there, and then it copies them in. Now, this may not be the order in which we want them, but do note that all of the files are here, even multi-page documents, such as my CV. Okay, 2 pages, CV 1 and 2, both came in and still maintained that order. This is a good way just to kind of grab things in a big batch, put them in. We certainly could be more judicious in how we do this, and if we wanted to place them in a particular order, we could do that one by one as well. It's also very easy for us to just select any number of these pages. I did that by selecting one page, hitting Control or holding Control, and then selecting the other pages that I wanted. And now I can move this, say, up here. Okay, so I'm reorganizing their position within the document just by dragging and dropping. Okay, and so that's really the basic, most easy way to do that. To manipulate these files, to add them to things. It is possible, however, to create them in different ways. You'll notice that up here, okay, there is an entire button that is just labeled Create. And so if we click on that, okay, we can create a PDF from files. We can also combine files into a single PDF or a PDF portfolio. I'm frankly not in love with either of these two options, but I'll demonstrate them here just so that you have an idea. Just as we could kind of visually see things here, this basically does the same thing in terms of dragging and dropping, but we don't get to actually see what they are, which for a visual person like me doesn't really do me much good. But again, I've gone up to File and, excuse me, I've done to Create Combine Files. And so I can grab these files again, drag them in here, and now I am able to manipulate things, their order and whatnot. But again, without the visual, it's kind of difficult for me to kind of put these things together. And we have a number of tools to kind of put them into their right place as well. And we have an option up here which is a single PDF or a PDF portfolio. For now, let's just do a single PDF and we'll combine these files. Basically, it's going to take all of them and create a new PDF from them. Okay? And that new PDF is called a binder. It's still the same format, it's still the same functionality, but just another way to combine things. But again, because it lacks the kind of visual cues, I'm not a huge fan of it. Now, if we wanted to do something else, and this is an area that I'm mostly unfamiliar with, but I just noticed it this year, and I may try and mess around with it a little bit more. This, in some ways, a PDF portfolio is almost like combining a Prezi presentation and a PDF, and so it makes it prettier and adds like other functionality and or other ways of kind of viewing things. So if we do add files, it's going to be the same kind of thing. We can choose those different documents. And so now it kind of makes it like you're shuffling papers around somebody's desk. Okay? And when you click on a certain document, it opens up, and I still have both pages of my CV, for example. So, oh, we have the page things here. Okay? So it works, it looks neat. I'm a huge fan of the wood grain background, but that's just me. From a practical standpoint, however, I think there needs to be some experimentation in terms of if I want to see my T-val for fundamentals of tech, how do I get right there? And I'm not really seeing that kind of in this format. So again, just so that you're aware that it exists. Okay. If we come back, however, to our regular document, okay, we've added those different documents, and so now we can rearrange things as we see fit. So the next thing we kind of have to turn our attention to, once we kind of have our documents assembled, is how are we going to choose to navigate these? So obviously with any kind of PDF, okay, even without the page thumbnails there, we have the option of just scrolling through things. And I think that regardless of who your audience is with this is always going to be just a natural tendency just to scroll through. And so because of that, you know, we want to be mindful of that, but at the same time provide other options if they only do want to see certain things. Certainly if they knew about the thumbnails, they could click that way, but not all of these documents are going to be evident as to what their content really is. In order for that to be helped a little bit, we can use our bookmarks. Okay, so bookmarks are really easy to create. Okay, we do have an option in Tools to add a bookmark. Okay, and so that just adds an untitled bookmark to the end of our document. We also, and just to delete that, we can right-click and delete. We also have another option up here, okay, which is a button just to add the same new bookmark. Now, what's important to know when you do create these bookmarks is that whatever bookmark that currently exists, you will create a bookmark at that same level. Okay? Just like when you're doing an outline, you're going to have multiple hierarchies, right? And so, for example, here, required portfolio documents. Under that, we have 3 subheadings. Even under teaching, we have another subheading. Okay, so if I wanted to create another folder at the same level of teaching, I would want that one to be highlighted and then create a new bookmark. And I could title this maybe Accolades. Okay. So likewise, maybe when we are doing teaching, we'll have our cover sheet, we'll have our courses, and we can kind of build courses or build documents based on that. Now, at this point, all of these, if we click on them, okay, all kind of stay in one place. They don't do anything. Okay, that's because I went ahead and added these bookmarks when there weren't any pages really in this document. But if we want to create a specific location, for example, our CV, okay, we can go to Thumbnails. Let's go to our CV. Okay, and what's important now is that we understand what we're seeing here. Because there are a lot of different ways to view this document, this obviously as a full-page document, and we kind of see that here in this window. I'm not seeing the bottom third of the page or so. If the entire document is important to me in terms of showing what I need to show, we might want to modify this view, and we can do that by going to View, and we have a couple options. Page Display, okay, where we could do a single page, scrolling, which I like to always enable. We could have multiple page viewings or multiple scroll page viewings. Another important one is zoom. We can fit to page width, fit to the height, and so if we fit to height, we see now kind of it changes a little bit. I think this is an important thing to look at, and certainly it is not the same. It does not have to be the same throughout the entire document. For example, in my portfolio, I have drawings that are set on pieces of paper that are 24 by 36 inches, really big than 8.5 by 11. And so I can maybe view those or show them to the viewer in a different way than I might view just a regular 8.5 by 11. So if this is the view that I want to see, okay, I'm happy with that. I can go to my bookmark. Okay, I just right-clicked, I did not left-click, right-clicked, and then hit Set Destination. And it asked me, because it's Adobe and nice and safe, it says, yes, I want to do this. Okay, so now, okay, I just got out of, just went to a different page. Now, if I click on my CV, it should take me to that page and that specific view. Okay. And so then if I scroll, it's still remembering the way I made that view when I set that bookmark.